who've made your way. The groups made their way to, and let me check my names real. Talshok. Tal Talsalk, a city close to the capital. Give me a second, I need to get something myself, but to make a long story short, one of your members, Promuth, had to leave to pursue his own business. From there, the rest of you have tried to establish yourself in the city, as Alicia seems to have given the impression that you might be staying there for a bit. For the most part, things have gone particularly well for the majority of you.
Oh, I wonder. Oh, breaking character for a moment. He'll be on in a minute.
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna do something real quick, and I'll be back in a sec. You guys can talk among yourselves if.
Oh yeah. Quick question: did she purify that armor?
It would take her a few days, and she's been starting the process.
Okay, I won't.
I have been assisting her this entire time.
Yeah, but it's not really your domain, so again, it would still take 3 days. Without your assistance, it'd take almost a week.
Ooh.
You're just acting as an extra set of hands, really.
So much work for one more point in AC.
Every point helps.
That's true, especially when you're squishy like me.
I have a 14 AC.
I have a 13.
I have a 3 and I have a 5 in strength.
I have a 1.
So
I have a negative 3 as a wisdom, as a modifier.
Sorry, I couldn't hear that, Necro. You have a what in wisdom?
I have a negative 3 in my modifier for strength.
Holy shit.
What? Aren't you a fighter?
Yes. I'm a dex base though.
He's got guns, boy.
This is Dark Souls. Dex doesn't help you. This isn't Dark Souls, I mean.
With light armor it does.
Huh. I tend not to use. Either way. You all can hear me fine?
Yeah.
So anyways, how's everyone's week been?
It's been alright.
Alright.
If you want to complain about stats, freaking Toki and Necro can tell you how badly I rolled for his campaign.
Oh, I'm curious. How badly did you roll? Is it anything like Anthony's character, which he intentionally made bad stats for?
Let's say I had 2 11s, and those were my biggest stats.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Em always seems to roll high stats for some reason.
I'm just glad I put him into the freaking module rather than the actual campaign. That would have sucked so bad.
Would have definitely sucked bad. That's about it.
Yeah, we'll be going to around 9:30, 9:40,
Yay.
because I have other things I need to handle.
Homework.
That partially, and also I haven't slept for the past 2 days.
I feel partially to blame.
No, you're not the fault of it. The work
Or
was the
necro.
fault.
Oh,
So, yeah, guys, if I seem a bit distracted, it's because I just had to re-up on the medication I have. And it's sort of a slow-acting thing. Because
Okay.
on top of being awake for 2 days straight, I also came down with a pretty nasty cold.
Sweet Jesus,
Ooh.
man.
I know! My body's currently falling apart.
It seems like it's falling apart an awful lot.
Oh, I know.
All of Brian's blood cells are just.
Everything is just screaming at me or crying. There is no in between for me.
You're just that dog in that room on fire.
This is fine.
Everything's fine. Try to find an actual image for my tiefling to use as a token.
Oddly enough, never gone through a campaign without a tiefling.
Oh, yeah. Oh, crud. I just realized what I did. Yeah. Well, demons are fun, especially when you can realize you can pretty much mess with everyone else using that idea. Yeah. Okay. Oh, wait. Actually, it's kind of cool looking. So, Manny, what? Um, gonna mute myself until we're ready to start.
Is everyone here?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, everybody's here.
As far as I'm aware, everyone's here. So,
Oh yeah, Em and Anthony. What the thing you guys missed was Brian hit me over the head with something about my backstory, but refused to tell my character.
oh, sorry. I feel like I'm gonna have some fun with that.
Oh, no. Unless you're a criminal of some kind, it has nothing to do with you.
A bounty hunter could be a criminal.
Yeah, no. Actual criminal.
Okay. Anywho, I keep saying.
So what is it going to have to do with me and Anthony?
I think he was just letting you know what happened. Give you a quite quick recap with his character from last time.
Yep. I'm pretty sure the only person who was around was me and Necro, because it was just okay. it was about the end of the sessions, so we were just finishing up a little shit.
Yeah, because I pretty much ducked out because there wasn't really much else I can do besides from just being a passive observer.
And Mark and me might have a connection.
What?
Well, you're both following the same person. That's a connection right there.
Oh my god, Necro, is there something that you know that I don't know that might link us?
Yep.
He's your great
Son of a bitch! Do I have a connection to every person in this party somehow? Is this 3 degrees of separation?
You've slept around a lot, dude.
Point, salesman.
I'm pretty sure you don't have a connection with the current character I'm using.
Give him a minute.
Yeah, no, I specifically made his backstory so that it connects, tries not to connect to anyone else's.
Is Anthony's mic working? Because I've seen it light up a few times, but I haven't heard him.
I think he might be dealing with a child. And no, it is not working. That, or he's just really quiet.
If you're talking, we can't hear you.
Please, find another way to communicate with us. He's not. Didn't even give him much time to make the joke.
Anthony, if you're talking, I can't hear you either.
I don't think any of us can hear him. Which is usually a Necro's thing. With no offense meant by that.
Yeah, don't worry.
Oh. You can hear us, though, right?
I'm getting weird flashbacks of last night.
Yeah, this is why I always go
All right.
wired shit.
Then let us use it the way that M did last night. Anthony, we will give you ample time to type shit into chat.
Yay. This should be fun. Let's get it. Actually.
All right, so let us start. It's morning within Talsuk, and for the most part, things have gone well for the most majority of.
And everything cut out.
Yay.
He's Christopher Robin.
Oh, and here I thought my internet went out again.
I'm gonna stick to using my regular style. So, and I'm waiting.
Shy Guy, is your mic dead?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was looking through the notes just to see if anything weird had happened. Nope, nothing weird happened. Oh, so here's how things go. Octavius, for the most part, you've managed to find things. You've managed to find a few people to reconnect with, the dwarf and the older elf. The dwarf was able to help you begin to understand the letter that you have from your once long lost love.
But refuse to give me anything about it.
It's like that thing. It's like, I shouldn't rush it. You'll figure it out on your own. And Daniel, you managed to find a few connections and get a bit of gear.
Yeah, buddy.
So, for the most part, the rest of you have been able to
Have a peaceful rest and relax in time in the city.
yeah, for the most part,
Brian, you okay?
yeah, I'm okay. Sorry. Point being, the rest of you wake up and make your way down to the main floor of the tavern, of the inn you're staying in. Patrons are sort of trickling in. Most are workers who have to work overnight and just want a place to stay for a few hours before they have to go home. A few others are travelers like you who have just gotten in from traveling on the night and are looking for a place to stay. A few are even other patrons from the inn who are packing up and preparing to leave.
I didn't know the owner of this inn, right?
No, you do not. This inn's new. It must have been built between the 8 years you were last here.
12, I think we agreed on.
Yeah, 12. Sorry, forgot that age. So, for the most part, things are pretty damn good. You guys have the day to yourselves. Alicia's still working on stuff.
Oh, at breakfast, I'm gonna tell the group if they need any equipment or supplies. I point them to my friends, the blacksmith, Tell, and the alchemist, Ven. If I'm pronouncing those names right, because I'm pretty sure that's how I wrote it in my notes.
Yes, that is how you pronounce them.
I am broke.
And I am technically not in the store yet, so.
All right, so I believe Mark and Daniel had their share of time yesterday. Anybody else want to do anything in particular in the city? All right. Anthony, are you going to roam around the city to look for things to steal, or are you going to try to steal from people in the tavern? Roll a general investigation check.
That's not bad.
Anyways, you don't see anything of note here in the tavern. If you want to go out and look throughout the entirety of the city, that'll be another investigation check. you don't see anything of note. You do find a few places that seem interesting, a few taverns, a few inns that you might want to frequent later to try and find marks, but for the most part, you don't find anything to actually intrigue you.
No, you have not done anything lately.
Yeah, no.
So, would you like me to say what I'm doing in town, or
Not yet.
hold on?
It'll come later. You're going to be coming in like the afternoon.
Okay. If that's the case, I'm still gonna be here. I'm just gonna mute myself and get some food. But
Okay.
oh, and can someone do something aside from just be silent all the time?
All right, so
Just static.
So that leads me to Mark, Necro. Do you want to do anything?
I want to get those armor cleaned up.
All right, you assist her again in the armor cleanup, mostly just acting as a pair of extra hands for her to use.
I'm gonna stop by Tell and see if I can get anything for this old leather armor.
Well, if you want to go into town again, you can.
Yes.
All right, where do you want to go?
I said I was gonna go to my friend Tell and see if he can get me something. Get me something good price for this old leather armor.
Okay, you do. And you eventually get there. He's in. Oh, I didn't expect you back so soon. What can I do you for?
Well, I was hoping you might take this old armor off my hands.
The hell have you put this shit through?
Oh. Honestly, I have no idea how to describe it. This thing was growing in a cornfield and it made people crazy and tried to eat the family. I don't know.
I um. I'm just gonna ignore that part if that's the same with you.
All right.
Let me see it. Let me see it.
I hand him the leather. It's just my old leather armor since she's working on the new one.
Yeah, I know. You'll get about. Let me check. Price it. Old leather armor. Get about 6 gold for it.
I deal.
All right.
While I'm here, has there any been happenings? Last night it was just mainly you and me catching up, but has anything really happened lately here?
Tell kind of scratches the beard he's got. It's like, none that I can. At least none that have happened within the city.
Is that you attempting to fix your mic? I don't suppose you could at least give me a hint of why you were so dodgy last night? And I give him a stare.
What do you mean?
Oh, you know
I
exactly.
wasn't dodgy.
Insight! Fuck.
You know he's bullshitting.
So he's just looking away slightly to the camera with the sweat drop. Well, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. But I'm still not telling you.
Anything. One hint. Can I try to persuade him for one hint?
Go on and get. I got some business of my own to handle.
Damn it.
He's just.
Alright. Why do I have a feeling that the minute I find her, I'm gonna want to beat you senseless?
I don't think that'll be the case. But if you do, well, we both know how the last time you tried that went.
Yeah. See you around. And that's basically my time in the morning.
All right. Anybody else want to try anything?
Do you really want me to try something?
Not you, not yet at least, but again, you get the afternoon.
I was making a joke, sorry. I am.
Toki, you want to do anything? Toki?
Just walk downstairs and get people used to my new thing.
All right. Okay, you do that. The rest of you just spend the morning kind of recuperating and getting used to sleeping in a bed that's in one place again.
So, look how far we come. Has anyone heard that song? I don't know.
Yes.
Nope.
It's like by Matchbox 20,
Yep.
I believe.
Waking up to the start of the end of the world.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just constantly, whenever I play D&D, I start thinking about that song for some odd reason. At least the start of that song.
Hello.
Hello, Moto.
Is it me that you're looking for?
Anthony, that is both funny and depressing.
I missed it. What'd he say?
Ross is gonna try to research happiness.
Oh God, that is depressing and both funny and depressing at the same time.
Well, if we're waiting, I can do a performance on my horn.
Right? You provide a fairly good performance.
Okay. I'm kind of curious. How's Ross's research going?
So yeah, the performance is fairly nice. A lot of fun has actually happened.
A lot of fun happened. That's a great thing.
And in the afternoon, Christopher, you turned up around. Yeah,
I feel like
Ross, you find like a children's book. It's sort of like emotions and how to deal with them, or something kind of weird like that.
Emotions and you.
Yeah, emotions and you. It's sort of like a kid children's book, not like a pop-up book, but it's sort of like very simplistic, very basic. But it was the only thing you could really find on such short notice.
that you could read. Wait, I don't know. It's intelligence level. Anyway, I walk into the bar. Quick question: do I see who I'm looking for? Because I know I'm looking for someone. Brian, Shia?
Yeah. So, Chris, you walk into the bar, or the tavern.
It hurt a lot.
You take in the atmosphere. It's a fairly quaint place. Definitely a lot more calm than what you're used to. But for the most part, they seem pretty close to that. It seems that this place is kind of newer. You've over the years you've managed to figure out how to tell when a place is new or old or something like that.
All right. So I know this place is new-ish. So I'm gonna look for the drunkest guy in the room. You want me to roll perception or?
Yeah, you can roll perception.
That would most likely be Daniel.
Okay. I'm going to turn off the disadvantage thing. Wait, how do I turn that off?
It's a toggle in the gear.
All right, thank you.
All right, so
We know either way. All right.
you guys figure out exactly what's you guys know. Everybody roll perception.
Can I keep that perception roll?
You have a 13. You don't notice anything out of the ordinary.
I'm just looking for the drunkest guy in the room. I'm not looking for anything out of the ordinary.
Going back to a normal
I've been
road.
to enough bad bars to keep an eye whenever the door opens.
Oh yeah, I'm not making any way of hiding what I am.
So, yeah, no, it's not a pamphlet. It's like a small book.
You're reading a child's book.
It's surprisingly in depth for a children's book, but
Like for children for sociopathic children who don't know how to feel. So, anywho.
Anyways, so things come. So things go pretty. Things go pretty well. Ross is far too immersed in his book to actually notice anything. Octavius, you notice a tiefling walk in.
Does he notice what? Does he actually notice anything I have on me?
Octavius,
Or
you
just
also notice there are a few odd items on his person. Ones that look suspiciously similar to ones you noticed Asriel started carrying a while back.
Do these look like guns?
One of them does.
I have one.
It looks like a much bigger one, though.
Okay.
I'm bigger than yours.
Anything else I should notice?
Size doesn't matter. It all depends how you use them.
Yeah. And I definitely use it well. So, what does everyone else seem to know about me?
Okay, so shall we try this? And Chris, you eventually make your way over. Do you want to try and find a room, or do you want to go to the bar?
Yeah, I'm going to actually, I'm not going to try to find a room. I'm not going to stay here for very long. I climb up on a bar. I ask the bar, do you mind if I, bar, the guy keeping it, do you mind if I get up on the bar real quick?
Okay.
I climb up on the bar and pretty much using my infernal legacy to catch
Thaumaturgy?
Tamakuji and to pretty much boom my voice out, saying, I will offer a great reward for the last man standing in this bar.
Can I tell if he's bullshitting?
Chris, as you do that, roll a dexterity saving throw.
All right, my favorite.
You got knocked out.
Yep.
You don't notice in time as this large hand grips one of your legs and pulls it out from under you, and you go falling onto the bar.
I asked the bartender I did ask the bartender before if I could get up on.
And he said no, but you did it anyways. He then pushes you off. Unfortunately, a fight ensues regardless.
I'm gonna sit down next on the bar.
Fuck that shit out now.
You took 5 damage from the fall, though.
All right, take 5 damage from the fall. One, two, three.
I'm gonna try to avoid this fight and sneak the fuck out.
I do put 3 gold on the I did put like 3 gold on the counters. Like I'm very sorry for the trouble. I just needed a slight distraction. And I put about 3 gold on the counter with the bartender.
Yeah. Daniel sitting over in the corner with his sword out. Anybody that comes near him, he's going to stab. Because he doesn't fight there.
All right.
So, y'all who are sneaking out, I think this is a great introduction to a character. So, the bartender, does he take my gold or does he just stare at me angrily? Or the tavern keep, I should say. Shy guy? Brian. I feel like he's trying to speak. I just can't hear him.
He's probably looking at his notes.
Okay, did I miss anything?
Nope, he's still looking at his.
Hey, Anthony, if you want to start pinging, that'd probably be a good idea. Pinging, yeah, making sounds. Try to get.
Octavius, do you want to do anything? Or-
Octavius is trying to sneak out.
Yeah, I want to actually be welcome in this city, so I stealthed the minute the fight broke out.
Okay. Ross, roll stealth check just to make sure you aren't noticed.
He did. So, Bard Key, did he take my money or did he just leave it on the counter? Give me a second, I'm being called. So, Bard,
Anthony, I would have asked you to roll in the game. But fine, we'll accept the six. Oh, okay. Never mind. I see it now. My bad. Anyways. I'm very tired, in case you guys haven't noticed.
Yes.
Moving on.
No,
The fight. Most of you, and Necro, you were upstairs for most of this, so you don't hear it. Though you and Alicia both hear what sound like thuds coming from coming from below you.
Bar fight.
yes, bar fight. I ensued a bar fight.
Anyways, yeah. Chris, you mostly stay out of it, or do you actually want to get in as well?
No, I'm just hanging out. I am hunting after a guy. Do I see him at all?
All right. Well, you didn't notice the one table of people who all seemed to just disappear the moment things started kicking off.
All right.
So you don't know about any of them at the moment. So, for the most part, things go out. It seems that at the very end, there are two people left. Chris, this is from your point of view. It's this really large guy, bearded, very hairy. He's human, most likely, and he's very, rotund, but it seems more it's built from muscle than actual fat. And he's up against this other really big guy. This one's a half-orc. Not as hairy, but definitely just as big. Both of them are wrestling until finally the human manages to slam the half-orc into the ground, at the very least incapacitating him for a time.
Does the guards walk in at this point in time?
Not yet. Nobody's been able to go out and get them yet.
I'm gonna
Anthony,
walk
do you
out.
want to do something? Sure. Roll a sneak attack.
And remember, don't kill. Okay. So
Yeah,
I'm just-
Ross, roll a sneak attack.
I'm just gonna start looking through the bodies to see if I can't find any gold on them. Because I still can't figure out this advantage plus disadvantage. I can't find like freaking.
All right. You do hit, and luckily the guy was pretty bloodied. You come up and sort of do a judo chop to the back of his neck, and that sends him plummeting down. You look around to see where the guy who promised the reward is, and he's gone.
No, I'm still here. I'm just looking through the bodies.
Chris, you see this one guy just suddenly appear and knock out one of the competitors.
I did say the last guy standing in the bar. It's in the bar.
Still standing over in the corner.
You're not in the bar. You're off in the corner.
That's inside the bar.
You're in a corner.
In the bar.
In a corner.
It doesn't matter what corner I stand in, it's still in the bar.
I think what he means,
That's
Toki, is
exactly
that you
the
had to be
logic.
involved in the fight.
You actually had to be in the fight to get the money.
There were no rules that speculated that.
I'm giving you his logic thing, how he would logic it away, but that's basically what happens. Your reward, go ahead and make your pick. And these unconscious jerks, your Um, well, your choice. I'm looking for something very particular around here myself.
It's at this point that some of the guards actually come in.
Going to
Bartender just looks and says, "They started fighting. Don't know why the hell, but..." And the bartender points to you, Ross. That one ended it. The bartender doesn't mention you, Chris.
Hey, one of my connections.
No, not your connection. As soon as the guards leave, taking some of the more heavily injured people to a sort of just temple to be looked over. The bartender immediately grabs your arm. Okay, you're paying for damages.
Oh, you can put it in the. You can put it for the big guy there. He pretty much.
No, I'm putting it for you.
All right. Right. How about this? I'm going to start looking through my bag. Will you take a skull of a Will you take a humanoid skull?
The fuck do I look like? I'll take gold.
Well, this skull could fetch you a fair amount in a market of some type.
Yeah,
you can go find
they're the
it.
ones I frequent. So again, gold.
I give him. I gave you gold. It's on the counter. That is the counter destroyed? I'm actually asking out of character. Is the counter still there, or has it been destroyed in the fight?
The bartender kind of laughs dryly. All right. Ross, you pass the room that Alicia and Necro and Azriel are in. Alicia kind of calls out, Ross, what was all the noise downstairs?
All right. Give me a second. I'll be back. I gotta empty the trash real quick. Just Brian Rose, like, need a rip. I mean, I'm still gonna be talking.
Who would start a brawl? And why here of all places? Oh, should I head downstairs and make sure nobody's too badly injured?
No,
That's
pretty
what
much
this is
everyone
all-
was drunk, so they'll be fine.
Octavius, you didn't hear this.
Oh, sorry.
You're still downstairs, dude.
Sorry.
I was going. She did ask Azrael, though.
Wasn't I with her?
Hmm?
Wasn't
No,
I
you
with
were. No, you went upstairs before he entered to help her.
Yes, you're with her.
Seems like the injury was already taken care of.
Ooh.
I'm still talking.
So what
Try to
happened is
talk the bartender out and take my gold.
Okay.
Steak. Steak and potatoes. Steak with butter and
Anyways. Doki, stop talking. You're making me hungry.
No, that's me. Sorry.
I've been asleep for like 12 hours, bruh.
Yeah, no, she did hear you, but she was also asking Azrael for his perspective on whether she should go downstairs to check on things or not.
He did said the injury was already being taken care of.
Yes, well, I want to make sure. You sure I shouldn't go downstairs?
There's no harm looking.
I'll be back in a bit. Do you want anything?
No, I'm good.
You sure? You haven't eaten lunch yet.
No, there's no need.
Sorry about that.
All right.
Oh, my bad.
Money.
He's illiterate.
Who's illiterate?
Oh god, that's so hard not to make a joke.
So you can't read, but you're reading a pamphlet.
Book.
The book
It's a child. It's a children's book.
Again, it's like a children's picture book, basically. And Russ, you can sorta
Ross can sort of.
Yeah, Russ, you can sort of interpret the words, kinda.
Okay.
Anyways, Alicia does walk downstairs and she notices Daniel in the corner and then sees Octavius. Dude, you know what happened?
I'm gonna pull a piece of parchment out of my bag and an ink pen and start writing something down for the bartender.
That dumbass. I point to the is the tiefling still here?
Yeah, he's still here.
That dumbass climbed onto the bar and said he would pay whoever's the last person standing.
I didn't say pay. I said they get a reward.
You know what you did. Vicious mockery on him.
Oh, I know what I did. And I enjoyed the entire time. Okay. Wisdom saving throw. You literally want me to take the 2 points of damage. Nope. Sorry, that's great. Oh. Either way.
Toki, you got your roll 20 mic active.
Roll 20 has a mic.
Yeah, somebody turned this whole thing onto video and broadcast, and I'm trying to get it to stop broadcasting.
Weird.
Wait, did
Yeah,
I?
because I was just like, I see my mic over my name, and then I pulled up, because I usually have all the names just showing, and I pulled it up so I could see the pictures, and it had me broadcasting. I'm just like, but this thing's never been a broadcast.
Yeah, you can just turn it off in the gear setting.
Right on my screen, it says they're both disabled for me, so.
That's weird.
Okay, let me just. Alright, so, anyways. I'm gonna write down the directions to a brothel on the a fairly unknown brothel on the parchment paper.
The fuck is this?
It's someone who owes me a lot of money and that can pay you.
I want to go over and look to see what the hell he's writing. Do I recognize the name of the place?
That depends. How active were you in the city back then?
Well, back when it was plague-ridden, I probably wasn't that active.
You had about a year or two before the city kind of went to shit.
I don't know. I was being raised by freaking bards. I don't know. They might have paid for my first time. I don't know. How much did they like me?
I'd say if they did, they never would have told you.
Oh.
Should I roll a D100 and you decide if I know the place?
I'm gonna say he knows the place. It's one of those weird fetish brothels.
9.
Does he know the place? Brian? Oh, I love this. Sorry, I'm laughing.
For the sake of sanity, no, Octavius, you don't know about this brothel.
Why?
Daniel, what are you trying to get?
I'm collecting my prize from unconscious bodies.
You don't find much. A couple silver.
Oh, what did I find in the body? Since I was looking at it, looking from.
Again, not much.
Yeah, I'll
Daniel,
take.
it wouldn't be sleight of hand, it'd be
and
investigation.
keepsake.
But yeah, no, you don't find anything important. Most of these people had a couple silver, maybe. There was probably, you found 2 gold, really. Beyond that, you just found a couple silver, a few pieces of copper.
Or a couple, like 2 pieces of silver and like 3 copper.
2 pieces of silver, 2 pieces of copper, 1 piece gold.
All right.
Yeah,
It was a shame
So
to
the
wait for the
bartender-
high sleight of hand. I'm gonna draw on their faces too.
I'm gonna whisper to, I forget her name.
Alicia?
Alicia, that's her name. I'm gonna whisper to Alicia, and apparently he's got a gun like Noctis. A weapon like Noctis. I don't know that they're called guns, right?
Azrael, have you actually gone on a geek out and told them what they are, or?
Nope.
He's
Do I
got a
overhear
weird
it?
weapon that looks like the ones Noctis has.
Oh. Well,
I'm pretty sure we had a big argument in front of everybody about his gun and why it should have been brought along.
Mostly you just talked about how it was a weapon that he should have brought with him. None of you actually know what it is.
ooh, do I overhear their whispering?
No. You're currently busy with the barkeep.
Oh, dang.
You can roll perception. You can roll perception at disadvantage if you want to try to hear.
Yay, perception assessment. I still don't know how to change my advantage or disadvantage. I'm just gonna roll for perception. 18.
Do I roll? What do I roll? Stealth or deception?
Roll general stealth at advantage because
I'm kind of distracted by the barkeep.
Wow.
I hear.
you're some of it.
Do I hear them talking about my weapon?
You hear them mention strange weapon, but beyond that, no.
I'm gonna Can we come back to this? I swear I will pay you back. We can keep having this conversation.
All right.
The barkeep. You there, pretty boy. I say, pointing out Octavius. Do you wish to learn about my glorious weapon? This is pointed at you, Octavius. So. Hello?
Mark,
Yeah.
he was talking to you.
Oh, sorry.
You're being
I wasn't paying
voluntold.
attention.
I point at Octavius, say, "You, pretty boy, would you like to learn about the glory of my thunder cannon?"
Oh God.
I look annoyed at the phrase "pretty boy."
Okay, sorry.
I go upstairs as soon as the words thunder and cannon are mentioned.
What it was called on the
I know what it was called. I've had an artificer before.
Yeah, this is my
I
first
know
artificer.
exactly what it is.
I love it. Yeah, sorry. Either way, do you want to learn about the canon, about my glorious weapon? I take it off and just kind of in a show-off manner. A very show-off manner.
Holding in my
Alicia walks upstairs and talks to Azrael and says to you, Azrael, remember that individual that Ross talked about?
Oh, you have got to be kidding me.
Something similar to you. To your weapons.
Wait, aren't I still in the room?
Yeah, no, she walked back upstairs to come and get you.
Wait, what's happening?
She came upstairs to inform you that some fucker's waving around a gun.
Oh, it's unloaded. Don't worry.
Paraphrasing, but basically.
As I walk by the two, it's not really a gun. It's more magic than his is, and I keep going.
Oh, it's like...
No.
How would you know that?
Because I'm a what's it called? I'm a changeling. I've seen things.
Yeah, no, but you need to at least roll Arcana to know that.
Arcana.
Yes, you do know that his gun is slightly different than the ones that, or his weapons are are slightly different than what Azrael has on him, because because Azrael's rely more on components, but this guy seems to run more off of a magical source of power. It still has a fair bit of mechanical components to it. It's just predominantly arcane.
I have an idea, and I would like to try it.
What is it?
I walk up to the tiefling, like with my ear twitching at his mention of the word "pretty boy," and I'm going to. Well, then, if it's so fancy, and I'm gonna try to grab the gun quickly, then this should probably cover for all the damages, huh?
Actually, it's completely worthless. It's just my pride and joy. He's hugged his gun closer.
I'm gonna try to grab it out of his hands quickly.
Both of you roll contesting strength checks.
Oh, I was trying to catch him by surprise.
You'll probably catch me by surprise.
Strength checks or
Both
saves?
of you are kind of weak.
Oh wait, that's a strength check, not a strength roll.
No, for you it'd be a strength save. For him it'd be check.
Well, that's pretty
Ha!
decent.
The gun, Christopher, is wrenched from your hands before you can notice.
I'm pulling out my hand axe. Now, give it back. Now.
What, you wanted to show it off? I'm gonna start looking at it. Can I make Arcana on this thing?
Sure.
You know it's magic.
You definitely get the sense that it does have magical elements powering it.
Have I seen Noctis shoot a gun?
Huh?
Have I seen Noctis shoot a gun? Or at least know
No.
see him hold it? Like, does he attempt to fire?
Again, no.
Damn, I was gonna attempt to show off by pointing it at him, but no, I don't know how to.
No,
hold
you're
it.
holding it like a club, essentially.
If you really want something that bad, crowd, I got you. I look at the information for the gun.
Do not wave that around. Do not point at people you're not intending to shoot.
Oh, are you downstairs now?
I thought they forced me downstairs.
The fact that I just realized that Necro is using a Final Fantasy character's name.
I've been calling him Noctis for the last 3 sessions.
Yeah, but I only just played that Final Fantasy.
What Final Fantasy?
15.
Final
His
Fantasy
main
15.
character is Noctis.
Ross is just sitting in his room waiting for somebody to come in.
So is he downstairs at this point or not?
Azrael or
Yeah.
At this point, I am.
I'm gonna toss it to you because this looks like one of yours. Yes. So, mind explaining to me how there's more than just your crap that looks like this?
I made it.
No,
Likely story.
no, this is different from mine.
That was the first time that was the first thing my master ever taught me to make. Strangely enough.
Lucky you, you have a master. I was self-taught.
Well, you don't exactly learn magic like that from anyone on your own.
Yeah. Actually, you're right.
So I'm gonna still threatening him.
I tossed it to Noctis to look so he could look it over.
I have a kinder spirit in Noctis. I don't like you already.
The feeling is mutual.
Cool. Mark's character's already pissed off the new guy. That's the new world record.
Electrical lightning crackles in between the two of us while we stare menacingly.
yeah, Noctis, you have a slight sort of just inner screaming moment as you see Octavius just kind of clumsily holding a very big gun.
I said I gave it to him.
Yeah, no, but Noctis did see the first part where you wrenched the gun from him and started holding it like a club.
I'm gonna turn over to Noctis and it's like, can I please have my weapon back? Can I please have it back?
I am ignoring him while checking out the gun.
If you want, we can trade specs later, but I'd really much rather have it right now.
Sure, why not? And I toss it back to him. As you know, I hand it to him politely. Don't want this shit to go off.
I've always said it's not loaded, so
I don't know that.
And I don't know what that means.
all right. Oh yeah, you were one downstairs, right? So I thought, like take it and put it away again before going back to talking to the barkeep, handing him the paper. All right, if you go here, ask for Mary. She owes me a favor.
Why do I get the feeling she's gonna tan your hide?
That's part of the favor she owes me. So I say, kind of rubbing my back a little bit.
Trouble in paradise.
Not trouble in paradise.
All right, so Alicia does walk back upstairs and wanders into your room, Ross. It's like, so you needed some help?
Ross, the coin serpent is typing. Why do I feel like a Pokédex right now? Yeah, well, looks like I now got a reason to follow you. Oh, it's story time for us. So, what does Alicia do? for the snake boy. Feel like I just might have accidentally pissed off Anthony by saying snake boy. Sorry for making so much noise. I'm fixing my bed.
All right, so yeah, Anthony, Alicia walks in and asks if you, and says, "You need help?"
You and rocks.
Ah, gladly. She takes up the book and begins reading it to you. Throughout the story, it's not really much so a story as more just kind of I guess sort of a book that helps kids sort of determine between emotions. It's more like the basic ones: happy, sad, angry, things like that. And it's like each one has its own little like short story to it. It takes about an hour, but Alicia eventually gets you through it.
Gotta stop throwing my phone. Yeah. Yay.
Okay.
Responded to roll 20 again.
So, well, that was pointless, but thank you.
So, anyways. What happens next?
So, Alicia looks at you. I'm sorry that it wasn't any help. Are you okay? Do you need anything else? She is talking to you, Ross, so
Ross is typing.
no, I do. You're traveling with me, and I prefer to think, and I like to think of myself as somebody who can help others. So, if you do have problems, I'd like to hear about them. I get the satisfaction in knowing that I helped somebody. I get to help a person overcome issues of their own, and I get to have happiness knowing that I was able to make someone's life a bit better. Well,
Okay.
anyways, so there's a lot, if you don't wish to talk about it now, just always know that I'll be willing to listen.
I gotta ask our character real quick. How obvious is it that Alicia is within some sort of holy group?
Some form of like religious group?
Yeah.
Not very. She's wearing sort of a mixture of armor and robes, kinda. You're not very familiar with religions in the Imperium itself.
I'm not very with any other sort of group either, religious group either.
Yeah, no. So for the most part, you don't know.
I don't know. Yay.
But yeah, no, you don't know that she's a member of a religious group yet.
Okay. I hope it doesn't take me long to figure that out. Well, I hope it takes me long to figure that out. Either way, back in character. Has the bartender left yet, or is he
He's still giving you the evil eye.
I'm gonna say again, she's good for the money, trust me. Her brand of work tends to leave her with a lot of extra gold.
And how the fuck is she connected to you?
Do you really want all those details?
Yes, because I don't want to go somewhere and get ripped off.
Well, let's just say I helped her with a task that I don't want to go into full details of. He starts rubbing, as I start rubbing the top part of my lip.
I wander up to the barkeep. If you want, I can go check this place out and make sure she actually has the money while you hold this guy down with the guards.
Or you could stay here and not get involved.
I like that idea.
I thought you might. I give just the biggest shit-eating grin.
And the barkeep takes out a small bottle. Here. I noticed you didn't do anything. I noticed you weren't one of those idiots that got involved, so a little bit of a payment. Also, this is to help you. This is to get the money.
Thank you.
Tell whoever it is that you need to. Tell whoever it is this idiot's trying to pass this debt off to that it's 50 gold.
Oh, and tell her that it's Chris for not the that you're coming from Chris, not for a regular reason.
I'm sorry, you broke out there for a second. It's coming from Chris what?
Not for the regular reason.
Not for the... okay.
But yeah, you start moving.
Yep, I start going to try to find out where this brothel is.
Yeah, I'm going to start actually looking at the faces of some of these guys and comparing them to if any of them are actually wanted anywhere. Roll investigation, perception, history. What do you want me to roll for this stuff?
You want to try to find out how the guards look?
No, the rest of the unconscious people.
Yeah, 2 guards are staying behind. And the barkeep mentions... Boy, you too. And he nods to you, Chris. Keep an eye on this one. Tries anything, I'd appreciate it kindly if you incapacitate him.
It's while this is all happening, up the story to squat over one of the unconscious people and just lift up their heads. To see their faces.
So,
Do I have to investigate to find this brothel?
I gave pretty good instructions on where to go. So,
Still get lost.
oh god. Oh god. Damn it. Okay.
So, anyways, Octavius, you take the location and ask around to get pointed there. You get a couple of dirty looks from people when you ask. But your point being,
This place clearly has a reputation.
no, it's more just everybody kind of knows the name of the place. It's known as the Onyx Palace.
It's a fetish place.
It's yeah, it's a
Looks nothing like that.
no, it's actually a building constructed of darker wood and stone that you assume is painted black to kind of give it that motif. And it is an establishment that while it does have the usual establishment of workers, shall we say, both male and female,
prostitute.
It also caters to more
Fetish gear.
niche interests. It's a
BDSM?
rather sordid place. Most people that go there don't want to admit they've gone there. When you present the note, the woman at the front, who is surprisingly a rather well-dressed, seemingly kind of younger elven lady, she's just wearing has glasses, brown hair pulled up into a bun. She looks really out of place for some reason. And
I'm incensed.
she looks at the note. Was the man who wrote this a red tiefling?
Yep.
Name of Chris?
Yep.
Take a seat. The madam will see you shortly.
Thank you.
And she leaves to go and do something. Do you speak Elven?
Hold on. I speak Sylvan.
Then you do not understand it.
Damn. Fancier
'Cause
Elven.
It's old Elven, essentially.
So instead of Italian, I learned Latin.
Anyways.
Whoosh.
I'm still going to be looking at the bodies of the faces of the folks. Are the guards going to do anything to this guy just picking up people's heads and dropping them back down? Brian?
Yeah.
Are the guards going to do anything about what I'm doing? I'm pretty much just lifting people's faces up, trying to see if I recognize them or not, then put them back down.
They're keeping a hand on the swords they both have. So long as you don't go for the pockets or move to try and kill any of them, they're fine.
I'm gonna reach into my bag real quick.
And pull out the...
A wanted book. Is this any info I'd have on the person I'm trying to find?
So you're essentially trying to look to see if any of the faces match the bounty you have?
Yep.
You are the most crazy bounty hunter I think I can think of right now.
That's the
No,
point.
that would be Doc the Bounty Hunter.
Well, for the most part, you don't find him.
Eh,
You also... You
That's true.
knew the information held true that he probably frequented this place, but you just most likely came in at a bad time.
Dang it. I'm just gonna look at the guard. Do you know if any of these guys might have done something wrong? Possibly, if I had some fight, start a bar
The
fight.
guards just kind of look at each other with sort of a, what the It's like, can you believe this fucking guy?
I hunt people for a living. It's kind of my job to know this stuff.
No, but you have to think about it from their point of view. They were called in because some idiot started a bar fight in a tavern. And now the guy who started the bar fight is asking them if any of these people have been in trouble beforehand.
You
I'm just
kinda
gonna go
went
ahead-
backwards on this whole thing.
Well, it was the whole purpose of bar fight would be distraction, so I can actually take this guy in kind of peacefully.
I
Well,
was that piece.
big air quotes around peacefully. I'm explaining this to the guards.
Anyways,
Yeah, I'm just gonna go up and offer a hand. Name's Christoph the Red. You've probably heard of me before. Kind of a big famous bounty hunter in the area.
Please tell me the biggest bounty hunter in the area has a bounty.
Yeah, no, not really. Bounty hunters have a Octavius. You actually know about bounty hunters because for a while your group ran with one. Bounty hunters have an awkward relationship with the Imperium's ruling body. They're more, I guess the best analogy is, you know how witchers are viewed within their world?
They tolerate them, but they
it's sort of like they're seen as a necessary evil. Bounty hunters are useful, but they're never really people anybody of sort of quote unquote higher birth want to associate with, even if they're God damn it, Toki.
Oh God!
I will kill you. Let me ask All Might. That's not how this works. He said no. But yeah, no. To basically put it, they're sort of seen like how witches are. They're not viewed as outright abominations or hunted down for being freaks of nature, but it's more just that those who hire them usually, or those that employ their services, more see them as useful tools that could be thrown away if ever they become dangerous.
Which I am super dangerous. Just I don't act on those dangers.
True. Yeah. So Chris, when you say famous, you more mean infamous, because Octavius, you haven't heard of Christopher the Red specifically, but you have
I'm not
heard
there,
of.
so
Oh yeah, no. Who was he talking to then?
he was talking
The
to the
guards.
guards.
Oh yeah,
I asked for my own clarification.
yeah, Daniel. I believe you're still downstairs. Toki?
What's up?
Yeah, he went through the
Yeah,
box.
you overhear Christopher asking them about bounty hunters, and being a criminal, you have heard of bounty hunters. You know that they're sort of kept around as kind of attack dogs for the Empire, for the Imperium. They're more used whenever they don't want to involve the guards in the more sordid affairs that nobles or members of power might have involved themselves in, that they want handled with some form of discretion. Essentially, like I told Mark, they're kind of viewed by most people as witchers were in their world. People that are useful and have their purpose, but are best kept at a distance. If only because bounty hunters tend to earn the ire of very powerful people. But yeah, no. Hearing that it's a bounty hunter, and apparently one that's supposedly famous in the area, puts you a bit more on edge.
Yeah,
He's not looking for me.
Yeah, no. You do know, however, that bounty hunters... You also know for a fact that bounty hunters are forbidden from starting shit in cities, at least directly.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Well, no. The problem is there is unfortunately no issue with bounty hunters causing problems. For instance, should a bounty hunter somehow start should a bar fight somehow start in the middle of a tavern where a bounty hunter's mark is, the bounty hunter isn't really held responsible, no matter how much involvement they might have had in starting said fight. So long as the bounty hunter didn't pull the first punch, the Imperium's officials' hands are kind of tied when it comes to arresting them. Now, say if a bounty hunter killed the wrong guy in the middle of a tavern, then they can be held responsible. But Christopher, you knew fully well most of the people here could throw punches and take some hits. So luckily, no one died. So you dodged that bullet, but
Yeah, no
you
one
do
was
know that
stupid
this
enough to
strategy
come
is
over to the
extremely
table
risky,
and
but
dumbass in the corner.
yeah, no, Daniel, you just go back to the corner. So cutting back to Mark, eventually you are taken. The elven assistant does come back and asks for you to come to follow her. She takes you to a small room, and
Please
it's actually
describe the places I'm passing, please.
she doesn't take you near anywhere where any of the clients might be. There's essentially, it's like a small sort of foyer room that you're walking in. The place appears to be an old renovated mansion, at least in appearance. She takes you up like this sort of half spiral staircase up to the second floor and down a few hallways. Most of them appear to be dressing rooms or storage rooms. The storage rooms are held under lock and key. The dressing rooms are kept open, and you see a few rather nice-looking individuals of both
Ladies.
sexes. You actually see a few guys you mistake for women at first. Then you realize they're elves. God damn it! Those
It's
always
elves, isn't it?
those always tripped you up a bit.
They're old elves, obviously.
Well, not old. They're most of them are fairly young. There are a few older individuals among the workers, but
When I say old elf, I mean
older than
Elf
100.
is like
You mean?
20-year-old person.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I didn't. When you say old, I immediately think like 500 or 600 sort of thing.
Well, I was talking like old race sort of things, where elves are kind of androgynous.
Yeah, no, but essentially, the problem is certain elves are known for having a sort of ethereal beauty to them, and some that start working in certain businesses cultivate that and use it to their advantage.
So, like, sorry.
Octavius, there was a particularly embarrassing evening where you got rather loaded and ended up hitting on an elf and ended up hitting on somebody who you thought was a woman but turned out to be a guy.
Did the guy at least enjoy
Once.
it?
It happened more often than you'd like to admit. Luckily, things never proceeded that far. One was particularly receptive, but beyond that, it never got beyond shameless flirting. But again, you're no stranger to those kinds of people. You always figured some of them would probably start working as purveyors of the
Entertainment.
flesh, but at least purveyors of the flesh is what one of your members called it. You just called them entertainers to be nice. But point being, yeah, you know about this. You see a dichotomy of all races, actually. Half-orcs, tieflings, humans, elves, gnomes. You're fairly certain you see a few odder ones among the mix. You think a hobgoblin or two? But you can't tell. Regardless, you're taking past the rooms too long, and you catch a few of their gazes, and they give like playful smiles, waves, and a few wink at you even. Again, a few men. A few of them are men. Even weirder, a few of them actually you might go for if you didn't know they were men. Besides the point, eventually you're taken to a room at the end of this hallway, and it's a fairly long hallway. The elven lady goes to knock, but before you hear this voice, come in, and you're brought into this, what seems to be sort of a converted study. There's, where originally bookcases, this rather large window was installed along the wall opposite the door. And it's sort of embellished. It's a bay window, essentially. Sort of large with a kind of natural indent in it that serves as a small balcony, serves as a small sconce area that a table is set at. There's a rather
Turning him to a beat dominatrix.
There's a rather tall, yeah, so, how would you describe this woman that he's about to meet?
Very, very kind, very soft-spoken woman, but with a very, very sadistic.
She's essentially like the woman you'd expect, the exact opposite of the person you'd expect in this profession.
But she's really good at her job. That's all I got.
No, she's really good at her job. It's just she acts completely different to what you'd expect. So I guess, is it okay if I add on top of that?
Go right ahead. Do whatever you want.
She's a tiefling herself. She sort of has these... Her skin is a sort of lightish purple color, but her horns are jet black.
Those my horns that are broken.
Yeah, no. Hers are these long, sort of elegant, swooping horns that end in small points right above her ears. Both sides have these small, what appear to be golden rings, kind of have like small golden rings embedded in them. She's a rather tall person because even sitting down, she's about your height. She's wearing a long, rather flowing dress. It appears her hair is a bit messy. It implies that she probably just woke up. But, well, Octavius, it would be hard. You would be hard pressed to say that she did not look somewhat beautiful at the moment, even though you were able to pick up fairly quickly that either she just got up or had a rather long night. One of the two. Is this the one that brought the note? Yes. Yes, madam.
Oh yeah, can I say what the favorite is, by the way, that you're looking for?
Yeah, I'll let you explain it once she actually gets to that point, but she goes over. And here was I was hoping to actually get a hold of him again. Very well. Be a dear and bring some tea. I need something to wake up. Yes, madam. And she leaves, closing the door behind her. Well, would you care to take a seat? It's rather rude for me to have a guest and not offer them some comfort.
Your hospitality is welcome and accepted, and I go sit down.
So, I assume you know of Chris, then, if you brought the note.
Was I told his name before this?
No.
If Chris is a red-skinned tiefling with a habit of starting fights in bars, then yes.
Yes, he is a rather... I suppose the best word would be blunt individual.
I've known him 5 minutes, and he already ticks me off.
Unfortunately, he does have that effect on people.
Forgive me for saying so, but it seems rather odd that someone in your position would owe him a favor. Or at the very least, he would feel comfortable sending someone to collect debt on his behalf.
Yes, well, that's a rather complicated story. And honestly, one I do not wish to tell. Toki just disconnected.
Oh no.
Oh no, not Toki. Shall I say what favors I do for her?
Yeah.
I send her clients on a regular basis.
Essentially, he served as a form of advertiser for me.
So
you'd be surprised. More a town crier. He'd make sure to advertise my business and its, shall we say, certain products that it offers. Regardless, I owed him a great deal for the services he provided. And so I said that I owed him a favor. Though I am concerned as to what the nature of this favor is. Knowing Christopher, it could be anything from he simply wants a place to stay for the night to he needs my help to hide another body.
It was only one time, too. I'm explaining to the guards.
You're not here, Christopher!
I know, I'm explaining that to the guards. It's like one time she hit a body for me. One time.
Explain that to guards?
You're explaining that to the guards?
I'm being friendly with the
Toki
guards.
just went offline.
Huh?
What? Toki's back in.
Yay, Toki!
Though he's offline in Discord for some reason. I don't know.
He might be.
Yeah, no, I'm like being very. I'm just talking with the guard, being very friendly, and making jokes with big air quotes around them.
Yeah, no, but Chris, you also know that you You don't mention certain things. Oh, okay. His phone died.
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
That
I'm
makes
not
sense. All right. So yeah, Chris, you also know you don't mention first rule of body hiding the body. Don't talk about hiding the body.
Yeah, before we know.
Second rule of hiding the body. Don't talk about hiding the body. But regardless.
It was more. I was making jokes beforehand, and I just kind of brought that up in a very joking manner. Like I hide a body once in her building, and she does not let me live it down. Sort of thing.
The Octavius, you go back and she's like, oh my God, I am so, by the gods, I'm so sorry. I haven't even introduced myself. My name is Madame Dovena Notitara, though most just call me Dovena. And you are?
Dovena?
Dovena. Dovena.
Her professional name, Mary.
And whatever Chris might say, even if we are technically married, he is not. Wait, did you say they're technically married?
Not that. Oh, God.
What did I
If
didn't
we
hear
had
your
tea,
comment.
I would spit take.
No, I heard technically. I thought I heard you're technically married to her.
Her professional name is Mary.
Her
Oh.
professional name is.
Yeah, no.
That is a statement.
I misheard that very badly. Regardless,
Yeah, I just and remember, professional name's Mary. If you ever want to use her services, regards.
though while you do not look it, if you ever do need my services, Mary is the name I go by. And you are?
Well, madam, I raise out my hand for like to kiss her hand as like a gentleman would. My name is Octavius, and despite how I might look, I am worldly enough to recognize the nature of this craft.
Oh, that's sweet. You think you need half a brain to understand what my business is.
No, rather that I respect and know about it.
And at this point, the elven assistant comes back in with like a small tray of teacups, and they're rather frilly looking teacups. They're like white with sort of this pink engraving upon them. It's a really weird contrast to the room and everything you've seen. Oh, great. Tea's here. Would you care for a cup? I always find it helps liven things up.
Certainly.
You get poured, and it's a very nice Earl Grey tea, like not too strong.
Not that bitter.
Yeah, no. But listen.
How
So,
Ooh, sorry.
I'm assuming since Christopher sent somebody else in his state, he requires a favor that isn't too sensitive.
Ha ha ha. Well, he needs money to repair the bar he got wrecked.
Rin, would you mind fetching me... How much is it?
50 gold.
50 gold, please. And make sure it's ready to travel. The woman, Rin, apparently, bows her head slightly. Of course. And she exits the room. Please tell Chris that the next time I won't be so understanding of his practices, and he'll need to come in person to argue out his case.
I'll be sure to pass that along. If you don't mind me asking, how recent is this establishment?
Oh, we've been here for quite a long time. It's actually a family business.
Really?
My mother started it. Good 2-3 decades ago.
Huh.
Eventually, my mother did go on travel, but I was left with the establishment when she did.
Didn't hear about this place the first time I visited.
Well, it is a rather Our clientele is one that prefers a
Discretion.
that would be a word for it. Yes, I assume if you are as perceptive as you say about the craft, then you must understand that even by, well, that craft's standards, this place does serve a slightly more,
Refined clientele.
I was going to say twisted, but if that helps you sleep better. Please know I'm under no illusion as to the nature of my business or the clientele I serve, but it is a business I run proudly. And should you ever find yourself in need of company, don't be a stranger. She sort of gives you a slight coy smile.
I appreciate the offer. Unfortunately, I tend to look for those who are more in need of a night like that, rather than those who can pay for it.
Well, if you talk to some of the girls, they'd claim they needed it, but very well. Oh, well, I do have you. There is something I could ask of you. Though since you are calling in this favor, I believe it is only fair that I get something in return.
That's quite alright if it's within my ability.
There's a certain individual I need you to visit. She's been inquiring about certain services for quite some time, and I've only recently been able to arrange for them. I simply need you to deliver a message to, and she writes out a small note. This establishment, it's within the Platinum District. This will serve as a temporary pass to get you in. Simply state you are a courier delivering for Madame Dev, and the guards should let you in. Find that address. Ask for Lady Ordelia, if I'm remembering the name right, and hand her this. She will understand what to do with the rest.
It's the least I can do.
And it is much appreciated. She bows her head slightly with a smile on her face. She hands you the letter, and she actually went to a desk that's sort of pushed off to the left side of the room, and fished out a seal and a small jar of wax. She pours some of the wax over the note and pushes her stamp into it, and pushes the seal into it, leaving a small stamp that is sort of just like a very embellished, stylized D, and hands it over to you. Please ensure this gets to her by the end of the day, as she was rather insistent on the services.
Might as well have Chris squirm a little.
Oh, well, I'd prefer not to have him squirm that much. Some of the people here would much rather have him squirm under their finger. But regardless, do give him my regards. And at that point, Rin walks in. She just hands you the sack of gold and nods at you. Madame Devona. Is there anything else, or is this the conclusion of our business?
Well, I was, depending on how badly this went, I was going to potentially spend longer here just so he wound up in a tizzy, but if I'm going to be a messenger, that's probably as much as I need to spend time.
Oh, honestly, why not make the best of both worlds and deliver the message first?
My thoughts exactly.
Rin, be a dear and escort him out. After that, would you mind bringing me the schedules of today? I need to ensure that all of our clients are properly tended to. Of course. And Rin just nods slightly. Of course, ma'am. Come this way, please. And she opens the door for you.
It has been a pleasure, madam, and I hope you have a full heart and good health.
I need words. Flattery will get you all kinds of places in this world. Then just coyly smiles at you as you leave.
Okay, how is Ross? How am I doing with the guards? Being ultra friendly with them.
It's mostly kind of like you're just talking at stone walls at this point. They kind of just they're engaging in more small talk than anything. It's a really weird situation for them, but yeah, no. You also know that if anything, Devona is probably fucking with you at this point because you've traveled the distance from taverns to her establishment several times over, and you know it does not take this long just to get there and get back.
Yeah.
So, do you want to try and find a way to pass the time, or?
I'm just gonna take out my gun and start cleaning it and making sure.
When you take out the gun, the guards momentarily start to unsheath their swords. The barkeep's
I'm
like,
cleaning my weapon.
Calm down. Last thing I need is more blood decorating the walls. The guards both look at each other, kind of annoyed, before sheathing the blades and going back to attention. Both of them giving you the side eye. One of the guards talks to the barkeep. You want us to move the rest of the patrons somewhere, or let them sleep it off? At this point, I think moving them will probably just cause more trouble. Just let them sleep there. Most of them are used to it at this point. All right. Yeah. Very well. Barkeep kind of motions. You want anything to eat? You know, you guard folk don't often get meals, at least not until your breaks.
I put it myself in. Oh wait, you hate me. I remember.
Yeah, one of the guards, the guard that did start talking to him, is like, "Oh, that'd actually be great. Do you have anything smaller, meat?" The barkeep, "Yeah, I'll be right back." The barkeep goes and starts barking at somebody in the kitchen to start preparing a meal.
If you want something small, you probably want quail.
The guard just kind of looks at you. So, okay, yeah, Toki, since he called it here, Daniel sort of just disappears back into his room, hoping to avoid the situation any further. Okay, so, Ross, you still in your room, or are you going to do anything else?
I'm just gonna start humming a song. So,
yeah, you start humming the song, and it's fairly well in tune. Ross, you do head downstairs, and you, for the first time, see the individual that apparently caused all the ruckus. You walk over and order a drink from the barkeep, which he is glad to provide. Do you proceed to get drunk, or do you just want to get, tipsy?
I like to know I remained completely sober through this entire thing. So.
Oh, yeah, no.
I tend to enjoy that.
Regardless, after this, okay, yeah, you're getting absolutely shit-faced in the afternoon. Got it. Noctis, do you want to do anything?
Not really. Just finish cleaning the armors as soon as possible.
All right, yeah, Alicia, and you spend the rest of the day and actually roll a d20. Okay. That's how much she gets added to her roll.
Critical failure, almost.
Almost. Just as bad as my initiative.
22. All right. The armor does get cleaned by the end of the day.
Are there any holes in the armor?
No, actually.
Darn, it can't be useful for them then.
Okay, then.
Who were you talking to?
I was talking to Noctis and with Elite.
All right.
So, cutting back to Mark, Octavius, you wander through the streets, given general directions by Rin on how to get to the Platinum District.
I head to the Platinum District. I head to the Platinum District.
He's walking and he's walking. He almost trips and falls, but he catches himself and he keeps walking.
Yeah, no, he doesn't trip himself, but for the most part, Mark, you follow the woman Rin's instructions to a T, and eventually manage to find yourself to what basically connects the Platinum District to the Iron District, which is the one you're currently in. Point being, the guards are dressed in what looks to be full plate mail. Considering the guards you saw in the tavern were wearing chainmail or half plate, this is actually kind of interesting. There's also seems to be a faint glow that indicates some kind of enchantment on the armor. Both the guards kind of see you approaching. It's like, "Halt! What business do you have?"
I'm a courier, and I show my temporary pass I think she gave me.
Yeah, it was effectively the message. The seal does prove. Oh. He looks to the other guard and kind of shows him the seal too. He hands you back the letter. Very well, you're allowed in. And the gates sort of slowly rumble up. They let you pass through the gates, which are not like a drawbridge sort of thing, but two large doors that can be pushed open. They're already pushed open, but the guards just stood at the front to make sure nobody passed. As you step over, you actually notice there's a slight crackle of energy below you as you look down, and you don't see anything actually, but you felt this sort of distinctive buzz of energy in the back of your head.
An alarm system?
You think. Maybe. Could be something worse. You don't know. Point being, you get through, and the Platinum District is actually a lot nicer than you've heard about. Most of the streets are spotless. There's lamps. There's street lights at almost every corner. And actually, there's almost 3 or 4 street lights per street. The houses are all tall and sort of beautifully crafted. There's also a large amount of more upper class shops and dining locations. This is the area where most of the more expensive materials are passed through. It doesn't take you long to reach the address, and it's a rather small manor by way of what most of these people are. And there's a small garden in front of the house, in front of the manor, but you eventually make your way up the steps and onto the front porch. The door is large, reddish brown, and there's a knocker on it.
I use the knocker.
You wait a few minutes. Wait a few more.
Has nothing happened?
No, it just takes a bit. You eventually hear as the door is open, and a woman in a maid's outfit appears. She's rather young, a human from the looks of it. Sort of messily, brown hair, kind of, sort of somewhat neatly tucked under a bun, but it's kind of starting to come undone a bit.
Does she look like she's had a rough day cleaning this crazy house?
No, it more looks like she just woke up.
Ah.
this is sort of a, you know, a bit about how upper class, about how like noble and royal.
It's like it was like the afternoon, right?
Yeah, no, but the way it works is in these kinds of neighborhoods, the shifts for the servants operate on a bit of a weird basis. It's 12-hour shifts. So essentially, you're starting to get into the point of the day where the afternoon and night shift staff start waking up and assuming the duties of the house. You've actually spent some amounts of time in houses, so you do know the schedule, and as such, you do know this. It also goes a bit to explaining how she operated, because she most likely has a similar Madame Devona was apparently either just waking up or just getting off a rather long shift herself. As you do know that houses like that tend to operate on similar schedules, and typically the masters of the houses like to try and stay up as long as possible to keep a good eye on what goes on in their establishments.
So is she just standing in the doorway?
No, she does, like, do you have any business?
Yes, ma'am. I am acting as a messenger for what was the name of the lady of this house again?
Lady Aurelia.
I have a message for a Lady Aurelia.
Oh, she kind of looks a bit casually. Who is the message from?
Going to attempt to not butcher this. Is from a Madame Devona.
Oh, one moment, please. And she shuts the door, and actually, if you would be so kind as to come inside for one moment.
Of course.
You step inside, and it's a rather nice house. Not big, but certainly not small. It has a nice warm feeling to it. There's a small fireplace in the main entry room that's crackling and bursting with the fire that is currently held within. She says, "If you would so kindly wait here, Lady Aurelia will be down shortly." She then scurries up the stairs and bounds off in one direction.
I look around the room. How fancy is this?
It's, well, nicer than any place you've slept in the past few weeks. But it's definitely not the fanciest house you've been in, but it's certainly not the worst. Whoever this Lady Aurelia is, she's certainly got nice tastes. There's a few statues lining the place. There's one or two smaller statues, almost busts on pedestals in corners of the room. Along the wall, there's a few portraits of people who you assume to be members of the house. Eventually, the maid does come back down with a older woman. Not like elderly, but she's definitely starting to show signs of age. She's
So like
human or
30s.
I'd say more close to early 40s, actually. She comes downstairs. She's wearing what could be considered travel clothes by noble standards. It's sort of this nice shortcut dress. You think it's made of silk. There's sort of this overcoat there's sort of this thin overcoat that you know is made of a much more heat. What would be the word? Heat, I guess, would be warm material that, you know, even though it's thin, is much warmer when actually worn. This is, again, through experience with the nobles, whatever fleeting experience you had. But point being, she does come downstairs. She has these striking green eyes, and she sort of holds herself with almost a form of military-like posture. It's really weird for you, but she looks to the maid that followed her. return to your duties. Return to your duty. The maid bows deeply. Yes, your lady. Yes, my lady. And she walks off rather briskly. Lady Aurelia turns to you, and she has sort of this stern expression on her face. I am led to believe. So, you are the madam's newest messenger.
In this case, miss, yes, and I lightly bow. Because I know enough about royal BS to not shoot myself in the foot.
Yeah, no, you do know that much. Well, you also know a big first step is not sleeping with the guy's wife, but you're not going to mention that to her. Point being, you then... Yes, cut the formalities, please. I assume you were only sent here because the inquiries were finally answered.
Yes, miss, and I hold out the letter.
She takes it from you, breaks the seal, and looks. Oh. Thank you. You are free to go.
Have a good night.
It's the afternoon. It's still only 3.
Which is why I asked the freaking timetables before.
Yeah, no, it's sort of like 12-hour shifts. One gets on at noon, the other gets on at midnight. Sort of a rolling schedule like that. Some just wake up a little later than others. But regardless, do you head back to the tavern, or do you head back to Madame Devona's to inform her of the message sent?
I'm gonna head back to Devona's just so freaking Chris squirms some more.
Okay, you do head back there. You meet Rin and tell her effectively the message has been delivered, and then you head back to the tavern. It's about 4 by the time you get back. You did spend a good hour and a half walking, mostly because you wanted to be a bit of a dick. And eventually, you manage to find your way there.
Oh yeah, the bartender gave me a bottle. What was it a bottle of?
It was a bottle of rather nice whiskey. Sort of as payment for not getting involved. And willing to side with him.
Nice.
It was also sort of his way of saying, I'm not sharing any of the cut that I get of this from you with you, but instead I'll just give you this stuff to shut you up. You arrive back, pouch of gold in hand, and put it on the table. Chris, you see this Octavius fellow walk back in the room, walk back into the tavern, and breathe a silent sigh of relief. Think, fuck. And he plops it down on the... But you also catch... you also clock that he has a rather big shit-eating grin on his face at the moment. So you know he probably stalled for time just to try and make you squirm.
When it didn't work, I've kind of been in situations like this way more than I care to admit.
Yeah. No, but even you would have to admit you were starting to get a bit nervous, if only because you were starting to run out of things to try and talk to the guards about.
Eventually.
Regardless, eventually they did start to open up a bit, but you didn't get very far.
Oh.
The barkeep... Good on you. Barkeep looks to you, Chris. All right. Guess you're off the hook. Looks at the guards.
With you, at least.
Thanks for the help. You two can go now. The meals are on me. The 2 guards kind of quickly finish the food they were eating. One of them barely swells thank you, as they both kind of rush out the door.
I'm gonna put some gold, some more actual gold. Like, how much would their meals have cost? The bartender.
If you're thinking of getting in my good graces by paying for it, it's not going to work. However, if you're just giving away money for free, both meals would have cost around 3 gold.
Is it 3 gold I put on the counter still on the counter?
Yeah.
I push here.
He swipes the gold and puts it in the bag. Just,
All right.
yeah. Next time, you won't be so lucky. And he just walks back and starts cleaning up. He goes about, he gets one of the cooking staff to actually come back and come out front and start helping him get everything reorganized in time, hoping that anybody who comes in for dinner or late night doesn't see the place in complete disarray. During the time you were chatting with the guards, most of the people woke up. They assume you probably paid whoever won. Most of them either sullenly leave to go home or stick around or get room or re-up on their rooms and head upstairs to go and catch a fucking nap after that
Didn't
meeting.
get their money stolen by freaking...
Yeah. I'm going to say that Toki knew well enough not to steal everything from them and only skimmed. That's why he got such a low amount.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, most of them still have some gold in their pockets, so they don't immediately start asking questions. So most of them either pay for rooms or head on home to wherever they live. Most of them kind of a bit bloodied, but none of them too worse for the wear. After that, Alicia finally comes downstairs again. Oh, Mark. Oh, Octavius, you're here. Good news. We finished the armor.
Oh, that's so relief.
Yeah, I took the liberty of putting it in your room.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
She heads up to the barkeep. And I do hope our agreement with the room still stands. Yeah, it does. Don't worry, I'm not up in the rates just because of some brawl. Costs have already been covered. That's a very good relief to hear.
Have I actually finished cleaning my gun at all?
Yeah, you were. It took about an hour and a half from when Mark delivered the letter to get back to the tavern. So you did have plenty of time to clean the gun.
Did I manage to convince either of the guards to go visit the madam?
The madam never came up in conversation with either of the guards. The barkeep knew better than to ask where the money was coming from. He had his assumptions about where you had contacts, but he didn't want to say anything lest the guards...
I have contact everywhere.
Yeah, he didn't... Basically, the barkeep knew better than to ask questions willy-nilly because he knew the guards might have sticks up their asses and actually take offense to hear that a bounty hunter might be connected with less than savory individuals.
Yeah, I'm just going to be like, to avoid this next time, I put a copy of I copied down all the information using another one of my parchment papers.
Yeah,
If
you do.
If you guy matching this description, feel free to stall him for a little while.
Takes it.
Are you sure you're in a position to start asking favors?
The guy is wanted.
Give me half the cut from his reward, and I'll do it.
You get 3/4 of the cut.
All right.
The reward's
I
pretty
just
high.
got puzzled because I
Yeah,
know
Octavius,
that's more
you're
than
just
half.
like, Octavius, you're just like you're counting on your fingers. It's like, did I forget how to do math right? Ross, you see Alicia come downstairs to talk with the barkeep real quick and then head upstairs again. But she does give you a slight worried look as she sees you're several cups in.
This would be the perfect time to start messing with the snake, but I'm not going to mess with the snake. I can tell he's not in the best of places in the moment. So I am down from 5 to 3.
Gold?
No. I was at like 10 gold. I'm talking about the papers.
Then what are you done from 5? Okay, you make... Yeah, okay.
Because I
Anyway,
kind of used some.
So where is he right now? Is he like at a table or sitting at the bar?
he went into table. Yeah, Anthony. So you stumble upstairs and kind of collapse with a slightly painful as you hit the ground.
Do I hear this at all?
No.
Oh,
You take 3 damage from hitting the floor, Anthony.
Do I
And-
do this at all?
No, neither of you do. Anthony, Ross isn't that big of an individual. So when he hits the ground, for him, it's a thud, but for you guys, it's just a slight poof that really doesn't feel that much to you. Like at most, you might see the floorboards above you like shake off a bit of dust, even then not much. Yeah, so Ross, once you fall down, the door you fell in front of opens and Alicia's there. Oh, God, I was right to be worried. Let's get you inside. And she, slings you over her shoulder, rather easily given her frame, and that you're slightly tall, and that you're probably taller than her. Though, then again, given how drunk you're fairly certain there are 3 of her. And she carries her to the room. To your room. She puts you down in the bed. She kind of sits with you and Anthony, we'll go over this next time, but roll another D100 for me. Private so that they don't know what happens. Okay.
That's not private.
I'm not going to tell you what the result.
okay. I'm gonna leave the tavern and actually go visit a certain madam.
Before you leave the tavern, I sling your head over on my shoulder. I sling my arm over your neck, like buddy style. So, Christopher.
Yes, what can I do for you? Pretty boy.
The madam wanted me to pass on a message.
Oh, perfect. I'm going to go see her. Actually, thank her for this.
Yeah. About that.
And I'm also going. And after I finish this bounty, I have the gold to pay her back. That's it.
I relay the tone of the message that I was given to relay. I don't remember the message.
Same threat she always gives me.
Yeah, here's the thing with that. I ended up having to do a favor for her, which means in my brain you owe me one.
You did something for her, not me.
And
it means I owe you something.
And she paid you back. And I was only there because I was collecting from your debt. Ergo...
in that sort of situation. No, I am not getting in bed with you. I am not that type of man.
Neither am I. Stop making false accusations.
Well, I'm not sure. So what? Do you want me to hunt someone? Make someone disappear?
No. I want you to look up someone for me.
Okay.
And more discreetly than you attempted to do here.
This is when I'm hunting, when I'm actually actively hunting a criminal. It's the easiest way to actually get them in when they're knocked out cold.
Well, I'm looking for a woman who is connected with this seal. And I show him the seal on my letter.
I'm gonna take the letter.
I'm not giving you the letter. It's not leaving my hand.
He's just showing you.
Yes.
No, I'm actually
Chris?
taking. Do you mind if I inscribe this down real quick?
Do you want to describe the contents? Or,
He's
Yeah,
not
I
getting the
want to,
contents. He's looking at the seal. That's all I'm
Yeah.
letting him do.
Chris, all you're looking at are the seals.
No, like the actual inscribe. You ever rub a pencil on something?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Just to actually have a copy of the seal.
But yeah, so you do create a copy of the seal.
Do I have a description I can give him?
Essentially, the seal is what appears to be two snakes almost intertwined with a stylized letter of what you assume to be Elven. You could never read it. Yeah, Octavius, you could never read what the letter was.
Well,
No, I meant of the lady.
No.
For some
You
reason,
remember-
I have no memory of her at all.
The only thing you do remember is that
magic.
you're fairly certain she was Elven. And that she must have known some kind of magic, given that the one tryst you guys had lasted 3 days. And I don't mean 3 days with breaks in between. You went into a room, came out, woke up, marks all over your body with a general feeling of pleasure, and, well, how to say the letter, you exit. Turns out you had been in that room for 3 days. But, Chris, you vaguely understand what this mark means, but you're not certain. There's people who tend to imitate it to try and get the same intimidation value. But it's typically, this form of seal is used by people who want to try and work with criminal families.
I might know a few people who might recognize the seal. I would have to. It's going to be difficult, but I'll look into it for you.
That's all I ask.
I'm actually going to let's get it. Gonna use if I can find my freaking. Gonna use the tantrum to create a booming voice in here. Get your arm off of me.
Ah, you fucking devil bastard.
Okay.
Okay, what did you want to do?
He was booming. He was
Here.
thaumaturging his voice in my ear, and I'm cursing him.
Okay, Chris.
Damn it!
All right.
I need to bump my charisma.
All right.
Oh. Okay, I'm questioning.
Anyway.
Is one that contacts one of the guys who know him?
What do you mean?
One of the guys, one of the elves that know him, or one of the dwarf or the blacksmith or whoever that he's saying he met. One of my contact them, because you kind of have all control over that aside from Mary.
No, you don't. You don't know anybody Octavius might have mentioned.
Yeah.
Most of your contacts are in other cities. This is the whole shtick you pulled with the bar fight is usually something you reserve for.
If I'm really just not in the mood to deal with a criminal.
Or if you're really just kind of undermanned and outgunned in the or quote unquote out.
Nothing outgunned.
Yeah, I know. Nothing outguns you, but you get the point. If you happen to get into situations where you're outnumbered, you tend to pull tactics like that to try and get an upper hand. Typically, if you have contacts or people who can help you out of binds like that, you try to refrain from doing that as you know full
Oh, a quick
That-
question out of character, since I know nothing of the Artificer class. If I had asked him to do something to enhance my rapier, could he have been able to do something? I don't know that class at all.
I couldn't have. I can identify that. I can identify stuff, and I can identify if something has magic in it. That's about it. I could give, but if you really want to, I could technically give you a bag of holding. Since that's what I'm.
Yeah, no. So,
Now that
Mark, to
that's,
essentially give you the rundown, M is the Artificer class, right?
Correct.
Essentially what they
It's-
do is they're sort of like tinkerers, except they more rely heavily on magic to help them with to help provide a sort of baseline for their craft to be added on top of.
wait, so is your identifying of magic a skill or a spell?
It's essentially at this point a skill.
So
It's
so me
technically-
having identify is useless, basically.
Given how the
No.
rules of my world work, no, actually. If identify is cast as a skill or through an object, there is a chance that the spell fails.
But
If it's cast as a straight spell, then it works completely fine.
well, it is still a spell. I can just cast it as a ritual instead of a actual.
But yeah, no, since it's cast as a
Oh.
ritual, it is still subject to the rules of the identify spell can fail. I'll explain
Alright.
those later on, but
So basically, if I level up and I can pick new spells, I can get rid of that without worry. Sorry,
Technically, yes.
this is metagaming thing. I'm thinking of future spells to pick.
Technically, yes, you could, but just realize it's probably going to take me a while. I might not fully get what I'm looking at.
but yeah, no. So to put it bluntly, the rule was that in one of the earlier campaigns or one of the earlier runs, they found a book that could that was essentially enchanted to use the identify spell, except every once in a while they'd run into items that were enchanted in such a way that would confound or simply outright negate the book's effect on it. Effectively, if the spell identify is not cast as a spell, it could be subject to failing.
All right, depending on the item, that makes sense.
So there's that.
All right, anyways.
But yeah, no, you can identify most things, but not everything. If you have the identify spell, you can identify everything.
I'm not sure if the Artificer actually has the identified spell as a something you can do. I'm actually going to check that right now, though.
But regardless, the point being, and that is where we will end it off for tonight.
I'm going to say thank you to my friendly neighborhood connection.
Yeah, okay, you do wander off and start heading towards that place.
And that's where we'll end it.
Hey, Anthony,
Right
so
here.
long story short,